What's good, everybody? Sean Shola Rosenberg in the building. Back at you with another video. Well, it seems to me that somebody may potentially hinting retirement. But at the same time, I don't believe it. So if you guys don't know what's going on, Laubrey Karen Graham, aka Drake, decided to do a live stream. And in this live stream, he kind of sounds like he's definitely still not in a good place. He sounds like he's in a good place, but we all in reality he's not. And also in this live stream, he's also decided to take some shots at Spotify. But enough of me talking. We are going to let Fantastic Hip Hop, speak on what's going on with this situation. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Fantastic Hip Hop, take it away.
Now, when it comes to Drake, well, if you are ready to see how, yes, you read that right, Drake is $800,000 in the hole because he can't stop gambling. And as a result, he has made the full-on transformation into a grifting streamer, and the results are worse than you could ever expect. Well, before we go any further, if you would rather have Drake stay a broke streaming loser and never make music again, be sure to leave a like and subscribe because it helps me out so much. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, between how mad the Drake stans are gonna get when we expose how broke Drake has been revealed to be at the moment, and well, at the same time, for me just going through the hours and multiple live streams that Drake has done to just understand the level of loser that he has reached on the loser list, make sure to leave that like because I really need it. As right now, when it comes to Drake, what is so clear is that after the spotlight in terms of being the biggest loser in rap has been off of him between 21 Savage literally trying to scam the Billboard charts over an album flop.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, 21 Savage just got exposed for allegedly botting to boost his streams for his latest new album he just dropped, What Happened to the Streets. Which, by the way, I haven't checked out that album yet. I may check it out or I may not. It all depends on what mood or what vibes that I'm feeling. But yeah, let's continue.
And then with whatever you want to call what Nicki Minaj is doing on the other side of the...
Oh my God. Now, I'm about to make a separate video about this whole situation with Nicki Minaj, so be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned. That will be coming. But let's continue.
Crew that he came from? Well, after those catastrophes and moments that have shown that everybody linked to Drake is an absolute fraud and joke, for the sake of these people who like the most superficial and generic rap music, you would hope that Drake would finally have something good to try and restore their mission and movement in hip-hop. But nope. Drake is hanging out with Ben the Don, and well, because of one of the many awful deals that he has put himself in, all for the sake of greed, Drake now has to put away the pen that he was pretending to write music with, and he has to step behind a camera for hours on end where he is standing around with his clown self and while showing his fans the world of gambling and everything that comes along with it in an effort to try and just corrupt them more and get them to use stake and play on there because that's what the whole point of this thing is. And that's so pathetic because with Drake literally being contractually obligated to do these grifting stake streams, which he did last Christmas season for reference to with Aiden Ross for one of his first appearances after the Not Like Us lawsuit, if you remember back then, which all was around the pathetic Drizmas stream, which featured an array of Hall of Fame crash outs. Well, if you thought that that was bad enough and Drake's streaming and gambling career couldn't take a worse turn, somehow even after a year of time to plan out the future of his career, make a comeback, and do everything else that would be needed for both of those things, a year later, Drake has shown that he has done absolutely nothing, and being on this screen and seeing the way he is acting and talking, we hear that he is just as delusional as ever. Just listen to him talk about Spotify for a second real quick here. Get ready for this.
The motivational background music?
You know what? They don't, but I guarantee that they. I can play it on Spotify real quick. I mean,
Which this is
Spotify. That was the shots going at Spotify. But Drake, ain't you still the number one stream artist for Spotify? Like, be honest here. Huh? You are the biggest Drake. You have been this big artist for so many years, for 15 years. Getting ready to go on 16 years of your career. And guys, this is why you can tell he's still bothered by that lawsuit being dismissed. And if you guys don't know, the whole rollout to the Iceman album was based on that lawsuit. And now, since the lawsuit got dismissed, the rollout's been destroyed. So Drake has to find another tactic to basically promote his upcoming album, which we don't know, because he was supposed to drop the album sometime this year, maybe before or maybe after Christmas or before the new year, but that's not going to happen because it's rumors speculating he's going to drop the album in March of 2026, which is damn near laughable. But let's continue.
It's just so funny because Drake ignores the fact that he puts the bot in Botify and does not realize that he was just getting cooked for so obviously helping 21 Savage pump bots into their song, Mr. Recoup. However, him and his little network tries to convince us otherwise. We all saw the fraudulent activity at hand, but in addition to moments like these, which just push the cringe levels that this guy can really go to just new extremes, what Drake also showed is that he is just at complete and utter rock bottom in everything. And there's a few ways that he really did show this, which all centered around one thing only, which is not just his crash out and fall off and the bitterness that he still carries, but it's also that he has just gotten lazy and all he is doing is just playing on stake, losing money to literally everybody. And then with that and what we're finding out with the amount of bags and checks that he owes
bro, why the hell would you wear that? Like, bro, come on. Seriously, come on. That outfit, it has to be rock. Let us know what this outfit, how you feel about this outfit.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit
that I ever seen. But let's continue.
Real people? Well, after hearing Drake not so jokingly check Ben the Don and try to write off his troubles for content, well, Drake said this.
Not tell the chat that I owe you money. It's $1 million. We ain't tripping, no, man. No. Hell yeah. 800, right?
And now, while Drake clearly tries to put a comedic spin on this, and he tries to play it off as if it was just a joke, Kendrick Lamar told you the audience is not slow. We have seen you actually move around with these streamers. These are your real friends. We've seen you roll around with them in places like Turkey.
No, hold on, let's go back
on this, and he tries to play it off as if it was just a joke. Kendrick Lamar told you the audience is not slow. We have seen you actually move around with these streamers. These are your...
Bro, what the hell? What the hell? Drake.
Man, sit your dumb ass down and shut.
Exactly. Like, go sit down somewhere. Like, what the hell? Is that a... This dude got a shower cap with his album cover, Certified Love. let's continue.
Real friends. We've seen you roll around with them in places like Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas and all of the other places you go to act half of your age. And what we have seen and found out 100% that the way Drake moves just in terms of the games that he always seems to be playing is the real lifestyle that he actually lives. And well, to quote Kendrick Lamar, he truly does have some issues with his habits around playing on stake, to say the very least. And you know, after there were already some rumors about Drake being bankrupt or Drake being broke, overall with this and with a moment that feels like a slip up alongside the other crash out moments and just straight up signs of boredom that Drake was having on this stream when he was addressing anything else besides actually playing these games where he was throwing away more and more money that he clearly doesn't have. Well, overall, when you just look around and you see Drake admitting that he is in this deep and he talks more about it as he tries to settle up with the resources that Stake gave him on the house to have this lame stream in the first place, just in terms of owing people some things in general. And then when you look around beyond this little and relatively insignificant
Whoever made that is funny, but let's continue.
moment and see everything else Drake is doing, which, just for reference, and when things have never been more tense and when things have never been more pivotal for the future of his career. Well, now, while fans and even the people on the stream are talking about Iceman, all Drake can do is talk about how much he owes people and keep playing the trash games that he wants his fans to play so they can be just as much of a loser as him. And well, now this is where I'm gonna crash out, because here is where the much bigger issues come with all of this, and maybe where Drake's worst mistake has ever arisen. Which, now get ready, 3, 2, 1. When we look at Drake, the song he dropped a few weeks ago, and just the fall and staggering decline in numbers that he and all of his friends are seeing in this struggle to reclaim hip-hop, I mean, it's absolutely baffling that this guy is not just considered a professional musician, but then that there are thousands and maybe millions of people that are so delusional that they are putting all of their trust in this guy who is more concerned about what he's winning on stake and getting away from giving people the $800,000 that he owes them than actually continuing his music career, and as these people are expecting, giving the world music that is going to resonate and just create a shift in hip-hop where things will go back into the Drake era. And even when you just think about that, it honestly hasn't even been 2 weeks since 21 Savage has released his new album, What Happened to the Streets. Well, when you even think about the fact that Drake and 21 Savage have a new record out, it's flopping, and instead of trying to make the record actually have a significant increase in interest and just do anything to try and make it a hit song, well, again, you are neglecting things that people actually want, and instead you are indulging in this.
By the way, you guys, like I said, I haven't heard the album yet, so I may gonna have to probably listen to the album on my own time. But I heard some feedback that this song that Drake hopped on, Mr. Recoup, has been pretty much flopping so badly. I don't even know if that song even charted, to be honest. But I did go over the lyrics though. I didn't to see what Drake had to say, and essentially it's just a regular. The verse looks like more like a throwaway verse. He couldn't come up with creativity. But let's continue.
Garbage, which literally to your fans is absolute garbage, and it's only going to make their lives worse if they indulge in it themselves? Well, honestly, just to go back to that Kendrick Lamar song about the party, this is like the line where Kendrick talks about giving gluttony to the youth without giving them any truth. Because right now, what we are seeing, whether Drake fans want to admit it to other people who are not OVO members and who root for the other side of hip-hop, which actually represents what hip-hop's supposed to be, well, Drake has clearly just shown that he doesn't care about music anymore, and really, he's only concerned with being an influencer when he has to keep this stake deal up, and I guess to run away from actually giving people what he owes them. And that's it. That's all you're getting, and that's all you're gonna deal with. And honestly, when you also see the conversation that's going on in hip hop right now, and it's talking about the future and stability of the genre and the success that other artists like 21 Savage can have in it, which currently, just to add some reference to that, Academics is saying that everything is failing because of the beef and just because of the way that Drake versus Kendrick divided hip hop, which I'll just let him explain this a little himself here.
Kendrick kind of like, egged it on and begged for it. Sure, but I'm only speaking about what the battle did. That battle, other than in the moment, and there's only a handful of people who really came up or really won in terms of that battle. And we're not talking about War of Words. Drake won, Kendrick won, I won. Like, I'm fucking mentioned over there. I'm like the only media person that's mentioned in there.
Axe just loves getting mentioned. Axe just loves getting mentioned when it comes to the conversation. The only reason why you got mentioned is because you keep running your mouth. And you could have took Joe Budden's advice and said, you got to stop talking anything related to Drake. And bro, you going around, and then Ak Diddy's going around saying, "Oh, this Iceman album is going to be a classic." Like, bro, just shut up. For real, Ak, just do us all a favor.
Shut up, bitch.
And
just let this play out. But let's continue.
Joe Budden won. Who else? There's some ancillary winners like Metro and such forth, but other than that, if you get like a random rapper like Polo G, and no, I did not speak to Polo G, and this did not come from Polo G. Polo G has a harder time rolling out an album, and anybody else that's not connected to this battle has a harder time rolling out an album, because what rap fans have become, they've turned into people who pull out.
We're gonna skip this part. I don't want to hear Ak just talk.
Drake's side say to cope with the fact that everybody in hip hop is failing on Drake's side, and well, that so many other rappers, I guess, are failing as well. I mean, honestly, if we just look at rap in terms of Drake and Kendrick as the leaders of these two different sides, and everybody who aligns with either of them as being representatives of their movements, well, we have seen as the people who are friends of Kendrick and who are supporters and allies of him, well, they have had albums and tours and moments that are very successful. And then you see everybody on Drake's side and they are failing, flopping, botting, doing everything else embarrassing in between and just losing their...
I don't know what the hell Young Thug was thinking for this album cover using whiteface. Like, bro. Like, what the hell, man? Seriously, what the hell?
Bruh.
And we all seen how Thug is crashing out. But let's continue.
Careers in a way that's genuinely unprecedented? Well, you know, when you look at the failure of people like 21 Savage, Young Thug, Lil Baby, and even DJ Academics, and his failure to try and just cope and explain and justify why all of this is happening, we don't just see that Academics' claims are kind of lies in a way, because there are a lot of artists who have succeeded, but what you see is that if anything is true about what he has said, it is all around the side of Drake and the failure that this side has had. But honestly, it's not because of the reasons that Academics is saying, and it's not because of any reasons that are related to people just instantly tuning out of their music. But I think a real thing that you can attribute everything to here, when you just see the way that 21 Savage's career is literally falling apart in real time, and his legacy is being decimated by the second, to the point where he is going to be irrelevant by his next album. And then again, you foil just the absolute chaos that 21 Savage is in right now, Young Money is in with Nicki, and just look at it in comparison to what Drake's doing right now, which is just sitting back, streaming, and playing on stake. I think the one truth that Academics was kind of saying, but also wasn't really going into in full detail, because he didn't want to address the truth and just make these guys look bad, because honestly, it does fall on Drake.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is most definitely like going downhill.
But it all does come down to the fact that after seeing the way these guys have performed in the post-beef era, and after seeing the way that Drake has only moved away further and further from hip-hop, and well, now we are just seeing him as a full-time streamer and stake player and nothing else for the moment.
All right, we're gonna stop it right here. Like I said, I don't think Drake is going to retire. I think, in my eyes, I think Drake is just, he's not in the great space musically. And for him to be taking all these shots at Spotify, calling them Spotify, even after it's being reported he's still the number one streamer, it just shows that I think this beef it's really affected him career-wise, where to the point he's not where he used to be. But hey, that's what happens when you underestimate somebody and you belittle somebody that believes that they're not on your level. And Drake definitely belittled Kendrick a lot. And then look what happened. And look how the tables have turned. But we're going to end it right here. But let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on this? Yeah. Yeah, it's just sad to see Aubrey go out this way like this. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Also, follow me on my social media platforms as well. Join the Discord as well. Link in the description down below. Also, stay tuned. I will be reacting to Nicki Minaj's Backlash probably later on today. So yeah, because I got a lot to say about that. About Nicki Minaj doing that televised interview with Charlie Clerk's widow. So stay tuned for that. So without further ado, see you guys in the next one. Deuces.